All right, Dan back with you for another FAQ session. Let's take a look at our first question, which is, how do I convert a PDF to something that I can edit? All right, the easiest way that I have found to do this, because my wife has to do it for her company, and we've had to do it a few times in the past too, every once in a while it comes up. What we found is you can just do a Google search for PDF to DocX or Doc or PDF to Word. Just do a Google search for that. And there's actually multiple websites out there that allow you to just upload the PDF and it'll spit it out to you, allow you to download it as a DocX or a Word doc for free. They're usually just powered by advertisements and stuff on the website. So it's a quick, easy way to do it. It doesn't cost you anything, and then you can edit it. Now, nothing's going to be perfect. If it has a lot of complicated graphics and whatnot, don't expect it to be perfect. You're probably going to have to make some changes. But for the most part, we've seen that it works pretty well. So that's how we would do it. Let's take a look at the next question. How can I tell if an email is a scam? All right, well, there are a few telltale signs. If they're really generic, if they say home user or esteemed customer or something like that, that's usually a good red flag. If there are any links in it, what you want to do is you can move your mouse over a link and it may say it's like from Amazon or something, or iCloud or iTunes trying to get your making you log in or something like that. I get these a lot too. I'm actually starting to get them via text message, which is interesting. But if you move your mouse over the link, even if it says Amazon, if you look in the bottom corner of the screen, it'll typically tell you where it will actually link to. And if it doesn't match, if it's not an Amazon one, if it's some other random URL, there's a really good chance that that is what a scammer will use. So that's probably a scam email. So be real mindful of that. Also, a quick way to find out is if you're suspicious, just reply to them. Like if it's somebody you know, just reply to them really quick. Say, hey, did you send this? Is this really from you? And if they say, yeah, it was me, I wanted to send you this link or whatever, that's fine. It's probably legit. But if they're like, no, it wasn't me, then someone's probably hacked their email account and sent it on their behalf. So those are the really quick ways that you can find out whether an email is a scam. Okay, so try to avoid those. Don't really give your information out if you're not going to a legitimate site, like if it's not an actual Apple site or your bank site, that kind of stuff. Okay, all right, let's take it to our last one for the day. What kind of internet should I use? I'm assuming they mean by, should I use DSL? Should I use a wireless connection, satellite? There's a lot of different ones out there, fiber. It's going to depend on your situation. If you're a business that's absolutely dependent on your internet connection, fiber is always the way to go, but that's really, really expensive. So that has to be kept in mind. For the average person out there, like maybe at home, if in that context, you're basically looking between DSL and cable in most places in the country. What we have found is that cable has lower latency, meaning it's better for like VoIP phones and that kind of stuff, but you don't tend to get the same amount of bandwidth. So that, and you usually get it a little bit cheaper too. So like in our area, in the Idaho area, DSL, you can get more bandwidth, but it generally costs more for the money, or you don't get as much for your money as you would with, say, cable. So those are things to keep in mind. I generally gravitate towards cable and then use DSL if I have no other choice. There's a lot of times there's bandwidth caps with cable too, because you have to share the bandwidth with everyone in your neighborhood, whereas DSL doesn't. So that's another thing to keep in mind. But if you can afford it and you're a business and you need internet, a very, very stable internet with a lot of bandwidth, fiber is the way to go. But it's, like I said, very expensive. Now, some areas also have wireless. Like I know in our area, there's a wireless provider that gives you kind of the same quality as fiber, but they use a microwave transmitter to transmit it to you. And so it's like a third to half the price of fiber, but you get the same quality of service. So those are something else to take into account. So that could be you. All right, that does it for this session. If you have a question that you'd really like us to cover, feel free to send it over to us. Our website is wvtsboise.com, and our phone number is 208-477-1837. We'd love to hear from you, and we'd love to communicate. Feel free to leave a message down below, and we read those too. So we'll see you in the next one.